Go for this attack forward. We get the Shen level up, so we know that that's definitely a thing, as well as the fact that obviously now we do have a very powerful caretaker. Very powerful caretaker. Hello, Gomez here for the LAN Up channel again with another deck for you today. This time we've gone down the Shyvana route because obviously with all the new buffs and whatnot that have happened to champions and whatnot, I kind of wanted to go through them, which in general, so obviously you've seen a Vladimir deck, you've seen an Ezreal deck, you will probably see you will see several more Ezreal decks to come because I haven't been able to play with that man for so long, and I do love being able to tinker with Ezreal, so you'll be seeing loads of that. But I wanted to do a Shyvana deck because obviously we saw that she's got buffs like that. I've taken her a different route. Obviously she's really strong in Targon, which is understandable. You've probably seen loads of decks out with which the strength of Targon, which is definitely not to be questioned, but I would take her down a different route, so I've taken her with Ionia. So let's get into this. The deck is called Bubble Dragons. As you can probably guess, what the idea behind this deck is, I've kind of taken Fiora, so it's the Shen Fiora deck list basically, but I've got rid of Fiora and thrown in Shyvana. I actually have my reasons for this because I feel like they perform a very similar thing, only obviously Fiora becomes more of a risk because of the fact that she's her own win condition, so an ulterior win condition. The only problem with Fiora is that although she's that win condition, especially considering the fact you're seeing a lot of targety decks come out with Ezreal, and also the fact that Shadow Isles is still quite a prevalent thing, Vengeance was always her downfall, and the targetingness now means that you can probably proc the shields and whatnot, which obviously is a counter to this deck as well, but I still think that Shyvana's got that little extra health boost that will definitely help up, especially when she levels up and you can start getting those dragons leveling up with her, and it kind of just makes Shen quite nice as well in the end game. So I've kind of decided to go down this way because it still could be used as trading things off. So the basic build, but then trying to do which added a little bit more, as well as the fact that the actual relentless pursuits, every single time she's attacking forward, it's giving her that buff, so that then when she levels up, you're going to be doing even more damage when you're pursuing. So I just feel like this is actually quite a nice little combo thing, which you're using that kind of like an old established deck, but instead just changing out a hero and putting a different champion in and just seeing how that runs. So you probably know this deck already off the top of your head because let's face it, it is pretty much quite standard. So you've got caretaker, because barriers, protector, barrier, throwing this in for a little bit of draw as well as barrier. Sharp Sight, just such a good move, especially when it comes to actually dealing with Ezreal or anything elusive, as well as the fact that it's a good stat block boost to be able to get yourself to a single combat on something, or a trade that if your opponent does some spells, it's just a nice little way of buffing something. Pursuit, as I said, for doing that damage forward. River Shaper, to be able to get those spells out of your deck so that you can use them on your opponent. Deny. I did originally put 3 denies in this deck. I've actually put it down to 2, but potentially there could be some wiggle room there. Riposte as a buff as well as barrier. Shen, obviously, as Shyvana, just because this is just I can see these two still performing very well together, especially obviously protecting Shyvana with bubbles, and then hopefully he levels up. Bubble for lifesteal, Concerted Strike is so powerful with dragons, especially so Screeching Dragon with that challenge, as well as the fact that Shyvana, if you've got 2, can grant the challenge, as well as obviously working with that. Judgment, this is my thing, yeah. This is where the tweaking could happen. I've put in this because of Shen, but technically, and also because of the caretaker, but technically, potentially you could throw 2 judgments in. I've thrown one of each, but technically you could easily take 1 and put 2, so you could either do 2 Bright Steel formations or 2 judgments. Judgment's probably going to be a better one because obviously with dragons, especially with their fury, is really going to kick off and can get to a point where you can just devastate a board. But yeah, no, this is what I've decided to go with as my thing. But please let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. I do apologise for drinking midway, but let me know what you think. As I said, it's basically your same kind of standard Fiora deck. Obviously, Fiora does give you that extra win condition, which obviously is what makes it such a powerful deck. But I'm going to try this one because I still think that it's quite a powerful deck without Fiora. But we'll see whether or not I'm proved right or proved wrong as we go into this. But I said, let me know if there's any changes that you would make. Let me know down below. If there's anything that, like, any ideas that you have for decks and whatnot. I always love hearing from you guys and whatnot. I just wanted to take Shyvana in a different route, because obviously I know that obviously she's getting played a lot with Targon and that, which is understandable. It was really strong, really strong. I just like, you know, Gomez like going different ways and seeing what happens. So let me know. There is also shameless plug time to Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm live on Twitch on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So you want to come catch the action live, talk to the Gomez, Jules, deck requests, like all the things. Or just stay in the chat and have a good time and watch the foolishness unfold. It's all you're open to all of these different things and more. So please feel free to. There is as well the Discord link down below. Discord, we do have a lovely community that's forming. People who love Legends of Runeterra, people who love gaming and having a good time in general. So if that sounds like fun, why not hit that? We do have a games night and a movie night, which is exclusive to that, which is that Discord, where we get on mic, so you can get on mic with Gomez and we can have a good time together, like talking crap about some films or playing some games together. So if that sounds like fun, yet again, there is that. I do have a personal goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube or 1,000 followers on Twitch by the end of the year, or both. I'm gonna have to come up with something. I keep saying I need to come up with something that happens, because let's face it, Twitch is getting very close, and so is and YouTube is getting there as well. Like, actually, the amount of support has been overwhelming and amazing. So thank you again so much, everyone. I do thank you every time, because literally it is. You're making my dreams come true, so I have to thank you every time. It's amazing, the support that I've been getting. So honestly, thank you so much. Anyway, enough of this jibber jabber. Let's get in and see how this deck does in a couple of matchups. I mean, so it's the Ionian version. Okay, so it's going to be running some denies and things like that. So I still feel like this is the Feel the Rush one, right? So we kind of need to keep our denies and whatnot. Do we? Because obviously he's going to be playing ramp, I feel. So do we need to? I'm actually going to keep the hand. I'm going to keep this hand and see what we do. But this is going to be a hard fought battle. If I had Frostbites, I'd be happy, but obviously we're not playing a Freljord deck, so Frostbite is really powerful against these two. Concerted Strike is still powerful because you could take the Trundle out, so we might have things. See, look, at times like this, if we were playing Fiora, we could have potentially played Fiora this turn. Okay. Oh, no, that is not the move I wanted to do. The move I wanted to do was actually to throw this on top of Shen. Yep, was not planning on playing you at all. Mistakes were made. Sod, I'm still going to do this move. I know that I've wasted that mat. Like, literally, that was not the plan. That is a barrier wasted, sadly. That was not the intention. That was literally just a misclick, because it was right next to each other, and then the throw to do that, and yeah, mistakes were made. Big mistakes were made. Okay, so I mean, I could just let this trade go through, because I mean, I don't mind that damage. Could throw Shen out. Could throw Shen out here. Actually, I feel like I want Shen to come out next turn. I feel like I want Shen to come out next turn, because he's going to have barrier up, and then he can barrier up Shyvana. So we got that. We do still have a single combat, so if some nonsense happens, you know, we've got single combat abilities. I feel like this is we're still on track, even though foolishness was done. Significant foolishness was done, and obviously we're getting near to a what's his face move now. We're getting near to like a rush move, but it's fine. It's fine. We can do this. We'll find a way through. It's absolutely fine, regardless of how foolish I've been. That is really big. The fact that he's lost one of his stuns is really big. A really big shoe, really big. Bonus no, really big. Oh, the fact he's got rid of that as well. I mean, the fact he's burning these resources. Okay, right. Here comes the Trundle. Here comes the Trundle. We could technically throw out Riposte. We could throw a Riposte out with a single combat, which is not a bad move, in all honesty. Potentially we see a Troll Chant or something along those lines. We could have actually used Concerted, which actually probably would have been the better move, in all honesty. Yeah. Smart move, smart move. But at least, so Shen levels up next turn. He can still go. we just let that attack go in. I know that obviously we're starting to get to it's a risky situation, but I feel like we just let that attack go in. And now we immediately go forward. Immediately go forward. We want to make sure that we're not letting him do his what's his face move. We want to make sure that we're not letting him do his pillar move to level this. So I mean, the fact that we can actually just throw a lifesteal one on top. We can throw a lifesteal one just to make sure. Actually, I mean, we could just get the kill over here, right? We could just get the witcher because we could throw this in here. And then, actually, no, we can't get the kill. Damn it, I miscalculated. But we can still throw our concerted on top. We can still throw our concerted on top of this. Just to make sure that he doesn't just throw the pillar out now. Yep, I don't mind this. I mean, obviously it's not what I wanted, technically, because I kind of fucked up, but at the same time, he's not doing his Feel the Rush move this turn. He can do the Feel the Rush move next turn. But we've got dragons leveled, we've got all this. And immediately, as I said, the Feel the Rush move probably drops next turn. We just need to really hope that we top deck something amazing. Because immediately there was definitely misplays there because I didn't actually calculate the damage properly. Oof! Ooh, I did not need to see you guys right now. But the plus side there, but at least both champions are leveled. And he can't use Feel the Rush. So that is actually important. And we've got a riposte as well, so even though you can grab that, or do we just let it happen because we could still just throw out, but he could have another one of these, I guess. Sorry, you know what? Let's go with protecting her because we can still throw Shen out because that does kill, and then we can still throw Shen out, so it's not exactly the worst. It forces more resource out if you wanted to block this. There we go. Yep, that's fine. Throwing Shen out with this because obviously this is a very nice combination just to go into an instant attack forward. If we can actually top deck one of our Relentless Pursuits, then we'd be laughing. But yeah, no, this is still a powerful move in its own. Another one potentially? No, okay, yeah, no. Nothing I can do about that. It's fair. It's a fair move. It's a fair cop. So Protector going onto this, obviously, yeah, we're going into this, could be potentially the Feel the Rush move, but if he uses Feel the Rush, that's all of his mana going into that move, so I honestly don't mind if that's what he does.
Honor dictates both our actions.
If he wants to go for it, he can go for it. There it is. I mean, that's using up all of his mana to do that, so I honestly do not mind. Mostly because as long as I can go slightly wider on the board, as long as I go wider on the board, I'm actually fine. I mean, so much pumping up. Pump the jams, pump it up. But we can now throw the Protector on top of the other Protector. Throw the Protector on top of the Protector. And then throw that in front of that. I mean, at least that damage is going through, right? Damage is going through. Regardless, and we can also force where this goes. So we can actually force this onto... Or do we want to force it onto there? I guess it means that more damage goes elsewhere. So basically... It's not the worst. It's not the worst plan because we know that should be fine because he can't defend all of them, and all we need is one of them to hit. So this should technically be lethal. We made mistakes. Don't get me wrong. We made the mistakes, but it's ended up going okay. But mistakes were made. That we misplayed a lot and we shouldn't have won. Taric with so I'm guessing. This has got to be this has got to be this has still got to have what's his face in it, right? Why can't I think of the damn name of the Star Spring? It's got but obviously yeah, so it's Taric. So either that or is this like the Mugwide deck where it's all to do with Stargazer and making things elusive? Nope, it's a Star Spring one, which admittedly we don't have any we haven't got anything that stops that, is my point. We don't actually have like anything which stops it. I'm just going to go for an attack forward here. Mostly because I kind of want to save my barriers for when Shen's on the board. Could have technically played the River Shaper, but I'd prefer to do this move here so that Shen drops her a barrier. Oh, I mean, barriers all round. Barriers all round. But yeah, throw Shen out. Throw Shen out here. Just let this attack go through. I feel let this attack go through because we don't want to be giving him more heals than necessary. Technically, we could actually throw Shen in front of here and then throw a single combat, but I feel like astral protection, or there's so many different things that could happen right there. That's just like, you know what? Let it happen. I'll leave it. Actually, River Shaper. We could actually. I'm gonna go with this one just because that we can pretty much guarantee Shen's. We can pretty much guarantee Shen's level up. Not exactly 100%, but we can pretty much guarantee it. Especially if we put the barrier on top of her. Yeah, no, we can guarantee Shen's level up if we can save her life. If he goes for something. Oh, there we go. Right. Go for this attack forward. We get the Shen level up, so we know that that's definitely a thing. As well as the fact that obviously now we do have a very powerful caretaker. Very powerful caretaker.
You are better than this.
We do also have a single combat as well. We do actually have a single combat. Doesn't want to be risking. He doesn't want to be risking, which is understandable. So I'm going to let that damage go in. See whether or not anything happens. I mean, we could try to kill Taric. I'm going to go for killing Taric. Obviously, Soraka, I feel like it's going to be a harder sell. So I want to try to kill Taric because Taric is still a problem. Still a problem, so I'd try to kill him. There is still obviously the chance of Astral Protect. Yep, or even that. Just obviously because that stops the attack from going in. But at least that is a bastion down. That's the most important thing to remember. That is a bastion down. Which is very important. Okay. So he could still have astral protection and things along those lines. But what we're going to do, if we throw Shen's spell in, we should actually be able to increase their damages a lot, as well as the fact that we do also have a sharp sight, so we do have ways around the ways. Oh, powerful move, especially considering the fact that's also going on Soraka as well. But hopefully this should. I mean, he's even thinking about leaving it. Potentially. I mean, once we do this, it's got to be concede, right? The second we use the Shen barrier on top of these two, the damage goes up insane. And potential concede, especially as like we do have a sharp sight as well. Ooh. So he's actually... so he's making sure that it can't be you who defends, which is actually smart. What we can still do is still swap these round, so Taric still dies. We can't actually with the sharp sight. We can't actually. Oh no! As if there's the concede then. I mean, Taric was dead. Okay, but no, honestly, I didn't think he was going to concede then because we couldn't actually kill the Soraka, which he would have still got a little bit coming off of that. But I was not expecting the concede there. So that is the Bubble Dragons deck. As I said, I still think there's room for tinkering, but as I said, there's always room for tinkering in these kind of decks. So please let me know if you make any changes or whatnot, or if you run this deck. How does it work for you? Does it work out well? Let me know down in the comment section down below, as well as the fact that I said if you've enjoyed it so far, enjoyed the weird content that I provide, then why not hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. As I said, and you can join me on Twitch on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays if you want to swing by and watch some foolishness on which it unfurl. But anyway, I've been the Gomez, you've been the Lanners, and until next time, bye! I said don't you do it! Okay. Is there literally anything that I could draw or that I could get from Flash of Brilliance that could save me? Save me! That doesn't save me! Okay. Is there anything from you? Save me. That doesn't save me! Okay. Get rid of this and get rid of this. Find something that can save me.